Our story begins with city gleamed under the glow of neon lights, a living mosaic of color, movement, and sound. Streets were bustling with crowds, music emanated from every corner, and massive digital billboards projected the faces of K-pop idols adored by millions. At first glance, the city seemed vibrant and ordinary, a place of entertainment, ambition, and youthful energy. Yet beneath this shimmering surface, an ancient conflict was quietly unfolding. For centuries, demons had learned to exploit human fascination, feeding not through raw violence, but through the manipulation of desire, admiration, and obsession. Music, fame, and devotion became conduits for their influence, allowing them to weaken the spiritual barriers that separated their world from the human realm. At the heart of this unseen war stood a four-member K-pop girl group celebrated globally for their talent, charisma, and flawless performances. Publicly, they were icons, adored by fans and featured across media outlets. Privately, however, they were elite demon hunters, trained from childhood to protect humanity. Their songs were not merely art, they were weapons. Harmonies and synchronization produced spiritual energy, forming protective barriers that prevented demonic infiltration. Each member played a crucial role. The disciplined leader carried the weight of responsibility. The bold second member confronted danger with courage, but hid her personal traumas. The empathetic third member formed deep emotional connections, vulnerable yet indispensable. And the analytical fourth member devised strategies, ensuring that their combined energy reached its full potential. Their power came not from individual talent, but from unity. Strange disturbances began emerging across the city. Citizens displayed unusual behavior, mass gatherings radiated energy anomalies, and shadows flickered where none should exist. The hunters quickly recognized these signs. Demons were returning. Simultaneously, a rival K-pop boy group debuted, rising to unprecedented fame seemingly overnight. Their performances captivated audiences with hypnotic charisma, flawless choreography, and magnetic appeal. But the girl group sensed a darker truth. The boy group's meteoric rise was fueled by demonic manipulation, using fans' devotion to generate energy capable of breaching the city's protective barrier. The stakes were immense. If the demons succeeded, humanity would face widespread cake and domination. The girl group intensified their training, combining rigorous physical exercises with musical and spiritual techniques. Every rehearsal became a test of endurance, precision, and emotional control. The leader wrestled with self-doubt, fearing mistakes that could endanger the city. The second member struggled to trust both herself and her teammates, her fiery independence occasionally straining group cohesion. The empathetic member balanced compassion with vulnerability, learning that connection was a source of strength as well as a potential weakness. The analytical member refined strategies, ensuring optimal energy synchronization, while simultaneously confronting impatience and self-criticism. Each personal arc intertwined with the external conflict, underscoring that emotional harmony was as vital as combat skill. Their first confrontation occurred during a citywide festival. The rival boy group performed on an enormous stage, channeling demonic energy into the gathered crowds. Fans became agitated, exhibiting erratic behavior, and a palpable darkness began permeating the area. The girl group intervened, their combined musical energy forming protective barriers and neutralizing the influence of the demonic entities. The battle was a dazzling spectacle of light and sound, portraying music as a weapon capable of both offense and defense. Despite their victory, cracks in the hunters' unity became evident, highlighting vulnerabilities that needed addressing before facing the escalating threat. Following the festival, the hunters delved into ancient texts and secret archives, uncovering the cyclical nature of demonic influence. They learned that the city's barrier could only remain intact through a combination of human faith and the precise channeling of spiritual energy by trained individuals. The rival boy group continued to gain influence, their reach extending beyond live performances into social media, fan communities, and everyday life. Demons manipulated jealousy, desire, and emotional attachment, creating chaos that amplified their power. The hunters realized that combat alone would not suffice. Strategy, emotional intelligence, and public influence were equally essential. Internal challenges mirrored the external threat. The leader struggled with the burden of responsibility, questioning her decisions and fearing failure. The second member confronted her anger and the trauma of past losses, learning to trust her teammates. The empathetic member navigated the precarious balance between caring and overextending herself emotionally. The analytical member contended with impatience and a desire for perfection, gradually understanding that flexibility and collaboration were critical for success. These internal conflicts enriched the story, portraying the hunters as fully realized characters whose personal growth was inseparable from their mission. As the demons prepared a climactic assault, the girl group developed a comprehensive plan. They studied the boy group's strengths and weaknesses, recognizing that their external charisma was amplified by demonic influence. The hunters focused on internal harmony, emotional authenticity, and strategic coordination, transforming these traits into formidable defenses and offensive capabilities. The narrative emphasized that true power arises from unity and trust rather than individual perfection or raw talent. The final confrontation occurred at a massive concert attended by tens of thousands. The boy group's performance served as a conduit for an enormous surge of demonic energy, threatening to shatter the city's protective barrier. The girl group countered with synchronized harmonies, precise energy manipulation, and coordinated movement. Light, sound, and spiritual power collided, creating a dynamic battlefield where music functioned as both weapon and shield. Audience members, though largely unaware of the supernatural forces at play, contributed to the energy landscape through genuine emotion, further highlighting the film's theme that human connection is intrinsically powerful. During the climactic battle, the demon leader manifested in a terrifying and overwhelming form, attempting to absorb the energy of the amassed crowd to seize control of the human world. The hunters, despite exhaustion and emotional strain, harnessed their collective experience, trust, and sincerity in a final unified performance. They abandoned the pursuit of perfection, embracing authenticity and genuine emotional expression. This approach magnified their spiritual energy, overwhelming the demon and sealing the breach, restoring balance to the city. After the confrontation, the city returned to normalcy. The boy group vanished, leaving no trace of their demonic manipulation. Civilians, oblivious to the supernatural crisis they narrowly escaped, remembered only an unforgettable performance. The hunters resumed their public lives as idols while continuing their secret mission. Their relationships were strengthened, their confidence renewed, and they carried a profound understanding of the responsibilities tied to their dual existence. The film concludes with reflection on the nature of fame, influence, and duty. True power, it conveys, comes not from perfection or superficial skill, but from unity, sincerity, and the courage to face overwhelming challenges. The girl group's journey demonstrates that personal growth, emotional authenticity, and collective strength are essential in confronting threats that go beyond physical confrontation. The story leaves the audience with a sense of triumph and continuity, implying that vigilance and courage remain necessary for the ongoing struggle between light and darkness. Throughout the narrative, the film weaves together action, music, and drama to illustrate the broader message that human connection, authenticity, and cooperation are potent forces capable of countering even the most insidious threats. By showing the hunter's evolution, both individually and as a unit, the film emphasizes the enduring importance of trust, resilience, and commitment to a greater good. The hunter's experiences are depicted in vivid sequences of training, rehearsals, and smaller missions leading up to the climactic battle. Each mission tests a combination of skills, synchronization, combat, and spiritual energy manipulation. During these sequences, the narrative explores the consequences of failure, the importance of adaptability, and the impact of fear and hesitation on group dynamics. The girls learn to anticipate not only external threats, but also internal discord, recognizing that mistrust, doubt, or emotional imbalance can be as dangerous as any enemy. The rival boy group, under demonic influence, represents a multifaceted challenge. Their performances are crafted to manipulate audience emotions subtly, spreading influence through admiration, jealousy, and desire. The hunters must decode these effects, balancing the need to protect the public with the necessity of confronting the boy group directly. Strategic confrontations, both on and off stage, illustrate the tension between visible action and unseen influence, highlighting that battles in this world are fought on psychological and emotional as well as physical planes. Each hunter undergoes a personal arc of growth. The leader learns the necessity of flexibility and delegation, understanding that burden sharing strengthens the group. The second member reconciles independence with trust, discovering that vulnerability can coexist with strength. The empathetic third member achieves mastery over her emotional awareness, learning to channel connection into power rather than distraction. The analytical fourth member hones patience and insight, recognizing that planning and strategy are most effective when combined with adaptability and emotional resonance. Together, these arcs provide depth to the narrative, demonstrating that heroism extends beyond skill to encompass character, resilience, and empathy. The climax merges spectacle with philosophical undertones. Music, energy, and audience participation converge to depict an intricate ecosystem of influence. The hunter's final performance is not merely an act of defense. It is a statement about the potency of sincerity, teamwork, and authentic expression. By embracing imperfection and focusing on their bond rather than individual prowess, they channel energy far beyond technical limits, ultimately defeating the demon leader. This resolution reinforces the film's central theme: unity, authenticity, and courage triumph over manipulation, deception, and fear. In the aftermath, the city recovers and normal life resumes. Fans remember an extraordinary show, unaware of the danger they narrowly avoided. The hunters continue their dual roles, performing publicly while safeguarding humanity. Their unity remains their greatest strength, and their experiences cement their understanding that vigilance, emotional integrity, and mutual trust are crucial for continued protection. The film ends on a note of cautious optimism, highlighting both the enduring threat of darkness and the enduring power of cooperation, courage, and sincerity.